Chris Wood here. This to me is finished. All feeling and stimulation is gone, and I have not had any in months as far as my brain goes, especially on the right side. Being constantly injured and being having my head filled up all the time with piss and shit, feces, and it rotting my insides out, my full lung and kidney damage when I eat, my stomach damage when I eat. My food goes to the right side of my body, no longer my left to my stomach. Full brain injuring, full skull deforming, facial changes. I have shown it, I have proven it, I have not been able to do anything about it. I'm a 3.5 year revenge retaliation identity theft victim with OPP, Lennox and Edmonton, Ontario Provincial Police, and wanted harbored inmate sex offender piece of shit garbage, possibly Billy, or one known as Billy Wooldridge, 149 Center Street North, possibly harbored inmate Stephen Maven on a Canada-wide warrant. And then there is Blair Hardy, boyfriend to OPP Spencer Mills, human trafficking cop, and Blair Hardy is guilty of rapes, guilty of murders, guilty of drug trafficking, drug lacing, stalking, identity theft, and homicide. Tyler Teabag Lake, guilty of aiding in this against me, guilty of murdering my dog, guilty of attempted homicide. Jason Gimpy Two Step Van Alstein, guilty of my identity theft, guilty of being involved with the murder of my dog Runt. Then there is Dale Hartwick and Tyler Lake. There is also a guy named Ray Ray that lives behind Mamma Mia's Pizzeria here in Napanee. Has two white pit bulls, one puppy, and one deaf white one. And he is also guilty of being involved with the murder of my dog Runt as well with Tyler and Javen Alstein. They are drug traffickers, sex slavery traffickers, pedophiles, child groomers, identity thieves, financial thieves, and guilty of homicides with and for the cops, for free drugs, for money, for protection, which protects the police as well, and drop charges is why they are aiding and committing these crimes with and for the cops. They are basically their gang stalkers. 3.5 years of going through this because I spoke police crimes as a result, injuring, torturing, brain damaging, medical blacklisting, treatment refusals, file falsifications, false arrests, sodomy, sex assault, kidnapping, stalking, lies, time buying, cover ups, false arrest through the hospital and the police in an attempt to give me a record, in an attempt to cover up crimes, also so they could get my pictures, prints, signatures, and everything else for this identity theft, and I will not be proven wrong. Kidnapping 24 hours after asking for help with what has taken place May 27, 2021, shot by ex-OPP chief or commander in 2019 and August of 2019 before he left. Hospital file falsifications, medical treatment refusals, being falsely arrested to cover up crimes that they're guilty of aiding in and being involved with in an attempt to get away with them. With OPP and inmates Billy Wooldridge, Blair Hardy, or the one known as Billy Wooldridge, Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, Van Alstein, Hartwick, Hearns, Ray Ray. These are all OPP untouchables, and there is Ontario Provincial Police, Spencer Mills 14716, now allegedly Aurelia, ex-chief or commander, year 2019, staff sergeants, years 2019, 2021, kidnapping and sodomy sex assault, Shannon Cork, Robert Ken Fuck, Ken Kill, Ken Get Away With It, Money Badge Family Town Council Lucas, and lives no more than 50 feet from my back door. Robert Kane, Stacy, a mental health worker, was Napanee Daily Tea Company, and now Kingston, and Shelley Huffner had me kidnapped under false incompetency pretenses. That was done to shut me up in an attempt to shut me up. That's when they had forced and stole my blood and piss and then left when they found out what they had done 24 hours after me asking for help with against them. And they still need to be charged for kidnapping. It was illegally done, and it was signed off by a Judge Chappelle in Kingston, Ontario. Lies, time buying, cover ups, and more. 3.5 years going through this. Families are murdered and missing. It is the police, and how they are doing it is with the hospital, with doctors, with inmates, and others who are aiding them in their crimes. This is finished with me, and I'm the end of my bloodline too. If I share any DNA with any of these low-life pieces of shit, there's going to be even more serious consequences. But I did end up filing human rights today against the hospital and others. So that process has been started, officially started. Human rights claims against others here. And I am going to proceed with it. So, anyway, I'm just doing this quick update. No feeling in my head or my face at all, especially on the right side. Luckily, I cannot do anything about this, and these pieces of shit know it because if I try, it becomes a criminal offense. I go to jail so they can protect their fucking asses. Kind of funny. I wanted arresting and charging and everything else. I was gonna finish this. I go to the hospital, and as soon as I leave the hospital, I get arrested. I get surrounded by a bunch of cops. I get treated like a piece of shit criminal. I got handcuffed and I got thrown in fucking jail. I had no criminal record or history either, and I was treated like a piece of shit criminal for trying to get help, for demanding my medical rights, my human rights, and my legal rights, and as a result, so they could cover up their crimes, they had me arrested twice. Once was by patient relations for me speaking of doctor crimes and what needed to take place, the arresting and charging, and what they were guilty of. Second time was done by CEO Wayne Covey Duck himself in an attempt to cover up his crimes and everybody else's, also in an attempt to screw me even more, and also in an attempt to shut me up. So I would not be talking about what I'm talking about, and the doctors there that are very seriously dangerous and need to be arrested and charged as well, but that's not going to happen. I don't have the $22,000 for it. So be safe, everybody. This is also about financial thefts and frauds as well, identity thefts and homicides. My mother was stalked and murdered, and two of my dogs were killed. For revenge retaliation for me speaking of their crimes, the human homeless trafficking and homeless exploitation for monetary gain from the Morning Star mission here in Napanee, Ontario, Canada.